Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Baseball is building a superstructure. A Toronto architect forges ahead as a member of his wrecking crew keeps blasting away and produces a pair of roofers. Old-fashioned methods do the job in one part of the Dominican Republic, where a foundation for fine craftsmanship is taking form. Casting a figure that could stand for ages, a model Met continues to break the mold and redesign the blueprint for success. The Cardinals construct a winning pattern and remain in solid shape. Putting the pieces together on our erector set, we'll recreate it all right here on This Week in Baseball. National League Review. In Atlanta, the Cards came up aces. Strong signs from surging St. Louis signaled hard times for Brave fans as the Cardinals exploded for 18 runs on 34 hits to sweep all three games. In the opener, second baseman Tommy Herr drove in 2 runs, going 2 for 5 to keep his batting average near .325, second in the league. Staff ace Joaquin Andujar picked up the win to go 20-7, first 20-game winner in the majors this year. Last year, Andujar was the only 20-game winner in the National League, and he becomes the first Cardinal with back-to-back 20-win seasons since Hall of Famer Bob Gibson in 1968 and 69. Game 2 was shortened by rain, but Cardinal third baseman Terry Pendleton poured it on the Braves by going 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, including the game winner. Rookie sensation Vince Coleman contributed 3 hits and 4 at-bats with an RBI and stole 2 bases as he continues to run off with the Major League stolen base lead at 88 and counting. In Game 3, the Braves were scalped by Curt Kepshire and company. Kepshire received solid support from the ever-steady Cardinal defense and got the win, improving his record to 10-7. Andy Van Slyke provided offensive punch, getting the game winner with his second home run of the series, as the Cards kept hold of first place in the East with win number 5 in a row. Then St. Louis moved on to Cincinnati, where Danny Cox cleaned up on the Reds with a complete game shutout, improving his record to 14-7. The Cardinals won again next day, extending their winning streak to 7, the team's longest this year. Now, a remarkable Met who's more than good enough. The superlatives are running out for Dwight Gooden, New York's awesome strikeout artist whose pitching performance continues to rewrite the record books. Gooden beat San Diego for win number 20, making him the youngest pitcher in Major League history to win 20 games in a season. At 20 years, 9 months, and 9 days, Gooden was almost a month younger than a country boy named Bob Feller, who went 24-9 for Cleveland in 1939 at age 20 years, 10 months, and 5 days, and went on to induction in the Hall of Fame. It's become quite clear that when Dwight Gooden is firing away on the mound, there's a mighty good chance of something sensational happening.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. It's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Breaking ball, 3
What a field day for the Heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and a carrying signs. Mostly say hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop now. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop.
Goodness gracious, what an amazing talent. Now, let's open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's Twib Notes from around the National League. News in Atlanta. Skipper Eddie Haas replaced by Bobby Wine, who got off right with a 3-game sweep of Pittsburgh, winning the first in the bottom of the ninth.
Down that third base line, that's a fair ball. Murphy will get the green light around third. Here comes the throw by Gonzalez. Braves win. And Bobby Wine has made a successful debut as Braves manager.
Wine popped the cork in Game 2 against the Pirates in even more dramatic fashion, with Bob Horner providing the fireworks.
And the 1-0 pitch. Deep to left center field. Back goes Orsulak, and the Braves have won it. Bob Horner strikes for a 3-run homer in the bottom half of the ninth inning. And the Braves come off the deck, scoring 7 runs, 5 of them in the bottom of the ninth. What a finish.
Chicago's second baseman Ryne Sandberg blasted 2 home runs in the game against Atlanta for a total of 20. The first Cub ever to hit at least 20 homers and steal at least 30 bases in the same season. Last year's National League MVP ranks 5th in the league with 41 steals. Now it's time for this week's quiz, brought to you by Nissan, builders of high-quality cars and trucks for over 50 years. Cincinnati pitcher John Franco is on some kind of roll this season. 7 saves and 11 consecutive victories for a record of 11-1, all in relief. Now, for this week's quiz, who holds the Major League record for games won in relief in one season? Stay tuned for a player who always had his game face on. American League scene. In Chicago, the Blue Jays stuff the Sox. Bobby Cox has Toronto thinking seriously about the playoffs and trying to fill the team's few remaining holes. Rookie pitcher Tom Filer is filling in fine, and with defensive support in Game 1, he beat Chicago for a spotless mark of 7-0. Also tying the Sox in knots was rookie reliever Tom Henke, who collected 1 of his 7 saves. Henke compiled a stretch of 18 scoreless innings and had an ERA of 0.47, making everybody wonder where the Jays found him.
Well, Tom Henke came in the compensation pool because we had lost Cliff Johnson as a free agent, and he was out there, and our scouts liked him through the past 2 years, and we drafted him out of that pool, sent him to Syracuse, and his stats down there were just awesome, something like 60 innings pitched, 13 hits, 2 runs, and he was absolutely unhittable.
You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people wondering who I am and stuff, but, you know, hopefully I can keep doing the job, and in the future, you know, they'll know who I am.
Everybody knows Dave Stieb. Dave lost a no-hitter in the 9th inning, still got the win to go 12-9 and keep his league-leading ERA below 2.4. Chicago fans looking for long balls got a dazzling display from Blue Jay George Bell. In the second game of the series, Bell chimed in with a massive shot to the center field bleachers. But he wasn't through. Next day, Bell sent one soaring into outer space, or at least outer Comiskey.
Uh-oh, you can put this one on the board. Hung him a slider. That's up and on the roof.
A rare feat. But next day, the bell rang again.
Uh-oh. You can put it on the board. A roof shot again for George Bell, and it's a 4-3 game. Mercy.
Bell became the first player ever to clear Comiskey's roof in 2 straight games, as the Jays took 3 out of 4 in Chicago to maintain their lead in the East. In Seattle, the Yankees were forced to the limit before capsizing the Mariners. The Kingdome proved to be a royal setting for hard-charging New York, which had won 14 out of 16 coming in. In the opener of the 3-game set, 46-year-old Phil Niekro improved his record to 12-9 with career win number 296. Mike Pagliarulo stayed on a power drive, slamming his 4th homer in 10 days, number 15 this year, and it stood up as the game winner. Neil Allen came on to pitch 3 innings of 1-hit ball and collect his first American League save, as the Yankees took the ball game 3-1. In Game 2, Seattle had no plans to surrender, but Major League RBI leader Don Mattingly helped club the Mariners into submission with a 2-run double, his 39th two-bagger, tops in the majors, and New York won the game 4-3. Next day, the Mariners treated several thousand handicapped people to the finale, and they treated the crowd to quite a show. So did the Yankees' 23-year-old rookie outfielder, Dan Pasqua, who went 3 for 4, including a home run, driving in 4 of New York's 8 runs, including the game winner. But the Mariners scored 5 runs themselves, 2 courtesy of Jim Presley, who connected for home run number 25, 6th in the league, and just 1 behind team leader Gorman Thomas. 23-year-old Brian Fisher was called on to cool off the Seattle surge, and he did just that to pick up his 2nd save in 2 days as New York swept the series. That made it 17 wins and 19 games for the Yankees. But they went on to lose 2 straight in Oakland and fall 5 games behind Toronto. Now, let's review this week in baseball's Twib notes from around the American League. Hey, how about that Eddie Murray show? First 3 times up, 3 homers, including a grand slam and a 17-3 smashing of California. A 9 RBI game for Murray, 2 shy of the league record for 1 game. Yankee Don Baylor tied a painful record in a game against Seattle, getting hit by a pitch for the 189th time in his career, matching the American League record set by Minnie Minoso. Ron Hunt holds the Major League record. In 12 seasons, he was hit 243 times. Ouch. Now, let's hit on the answer to this week's Nissan quiz. Hitters had a hard time seeing the split-fingered forkball of Pittsburgh Pirate reliever Elroy Face, who set the record for most wins in relief in one season when he went 18-1 for the Pirates in 1959. Face ranks 4th all-time in career relief wins with 96, and 6th all-time in saves with 193. You know, fans, big leaguers don't like it when Mother Nature rains on their parade. Makes for a soggy state of affairs. Although sometimes when all is clear, it can seem like the sky is falling. Hey, man, don't cry. Can't be all that bad. Keep trying and maybe you'll make a splash. See what I mean? what they say, when it rains, it pours, and stormy weather sure can put a damper on things. But let's not muddy up the waters. After all, baseball is just like anything else. Behind every cloud, there's usually a silver lining. And foul play can lead to some pretty fair results. Instant replay on the cliche. From fair to fantastic, a few fielding feats, strictly storybook, making some mighty pretty pictures. Up first, Philadelphia's Juan Samuel. Cincinnati's Ron Oster. Houston Astro Bill Doran. Teammate Kevin Bass. Kansas City Royal Lonnie Smith. Chicago Cub Bob Denier. The Crosstown White Sox Tom Siebert. Boston's Wade Boggs. Oakland's Mike Gallego. New York Yankee Bobby Meacham. The Chicago Cub Sean Dunston showing off a gun from deep in the hole. St. Louis Cardinal Ivan DeJesus. The Cubs again with Ron Meredith. And finally, Atlanta's Steve Bedrosian to Bruce Benedict, out of sight. On to Williamsport, Pennsylvania for this year's Little League World Series. 35,000 fans came out to see the Little League Championship game, featuring Seoul, South Korea, against Mexicali, Mexico. Korean pitcher Yu Young Jung dominated the game, tossing a one-hitter in a 7-1 victory. The game also featured the first use of a camera mounted on the umpire's mask, providing some unique perspectives on the action. Kudos to the champions from South Korea. Now let's get on the ball with a baseball paradise in the Caribbean. The Dominican Republic is a small Caribbean island with a grand baseball tradition, and one town in particular, San Pedro de Macorís, although economically impoverished, has become a major league gold mine. The island's primary export is sugarcane, but San Pedro de Macorís specializes in producing baseball players.
San Pedro de Macorís is the baseball country. San Pedro have all the tools, the strong body, and the people that work hard. And those people are very aggressive in baseball.
When I was coming up, see, to get a bat, we have to go to certain trees and cut certain limbs, the straight limbs. We look for the straight limbs and make bats out of that.
Rico Carty was the first big league sensation from San Pedro de Macorís. He batted .299 over 15 seasons, most with the Braves, and in 1970, Carty led the National League with a .366 average.
This is our main sport, baseball. And everybody wanted to be a Rico Carty, a Felipe Alou, a Marichal, a Pedro Guerrero. We don't have anything else to do but play baseball, from school to baseball. We don't even have jobs here.
For many of the town's youngsters, the main job is trying to make it to the majors. Incredibly, 13 active big leaguers hail from San Pedro de Macorís, and every boy has a hometown hero.
Joaquín Andújar, Tony Fernández, Pedro Guerrero, Alfredo Griffin.
They followed the exploits of their big league native sons through newspapers and television, and they know that most are infielders, primarily shortstops. As a result, a common sight in San Pedro de Macorís is infield practice.
They all want to be infield, shortstop, maybe second base. They all want to catch ground ball. They want to be infield or pitcher. They are so aggressive on the field that they will make it someday.
Those who've already made it include Juan Samuel, Pedro Guerrero, George Bell, and Joaquin Andújar, as well as 6 starting big league shortstops. Yes, indeed, San Pedro de Macorís is a poor town, but it's oh so rich in baseball talent.
In every little town here, they do play baseball. But we are more fortunate to be and become and get better players. Well, I say we're being blessed by the Almighty God.
God give us like a gift because they all have good ability to be a ball player. We so poor country that the God give us like a gift.
From the shadows of one town, an abundance of baseball ability. And now it's time for an Old Spice salute, brought to you by 24-hour-strong Old Spice deodorant and antiperspirant. This week, Old Spice salutes second baseman Juan Samuel of Philadelphia. The San Pedro de Macorís native rapped out a triple against Los Angeles, number 10 this year, and that made him the first player in Major League history to reach double figures in triples, doubles, home runs, and stolen bases in his first 2 seasons. 24-year-old Samuel was second to Dwight Gooden in League Rookie of the Year voting last season on the strength of his all-around offensive abilities, and he's not letting down this year either. Congratulations, Juan. And that's all for now, folks. Hey, see you next week on This Week in Baseball.